I was talking about 19th century living, I really should explain to myself a little better. I meant to be more self-sufficient, and I meant to be more off-grid. Now, 19th century living, they didn't have electricity until the end of the 19th century. That's when electricity started coming into some of the richer homes. So what I'm doing is I'm showing you old ways of doing things that don't require electricity. Now, in order to run my YouTube channel, there is a little bit of electricity involved, but not much. And all of this is my power units. So we're going to talk a little bit about other things that you see me using, and I can explain that to all of you too. A few people asked me about my stove. My stove is not electric. My stove is non-electric. It is a propane stove, and you can use a lighter to light up your stove unit. Now, the oven does not work, and I do have a little small toaster oven. I need that because I need to bake things sometimes. So in my videos, the only thing really you're going to see that's electric is me using a toaster oven. I'm not going to be using a bread machine. I am not going to be using air fryers or slow cookers or anything like that. That's not what I'm using. I'm going to be showing you a different way. So I just put this on here just to give it a little more a look to it that says Homestead Tessie. And I'm going to work on this first, and then I'll come back to you and answer some more questions. I'm trying to think of all the questions that people have had in these last couple weeks, and I can address that. As you see in the background of my videos, you're going to start seeing things disappear, so to speak. I did have a electric light that is gone, that I donated that to the thrift store. And as I'm going through my home, you're going to be seeing me get rid of modern things that I may have missed. There's more to my life than just all of that. I'm working on getting rid of plastics, and you're going to go along with me on my journey with that as well. So I answer some of those questions, and no, we're not getting a horse and buggy. And yes, we will go to the doctor if we need to. So let me clarify something here. When I talk about the 19th century, I am not talking about anti-going to the doctor or anti-having cars or anything like that. I'm talking about in ways to save money, implying the 19th century lifestyle into that. Yes, we have a vehicle. Yes, I would go to the doctor if I really needed it. So, but I will do all of these things if needed. And now another question was, what happens if we get too old and we can't do this? Well, then we won't do it. This is just something I'm enjoying. It's the lifestyle that I am living, and I am living my dream. I can't promise you what's going to happen if I would fall and break a leg or things like that. I mean, I can't look into the future, and I don't care to look into the future. I'm looking at the here and now, and I got rid of these things. So it's not like I have them hidden somewhere behind the camera. No, we got rid of them. And this is the lifestyle I want to live, and I hope the Lord allows me to live this lifestyle a very, very long time. So I had another comment, and that comment was, well, please do explain why this makes you so happy. Well, that's an easy one. The person asking that probably does not have my personality type, nor has the interest of things of this nature. So anybody who is somewhat like me and likes older things and likes to be self-sufficient would never ask that question, simply because they would understand it. For me, this lifestyle brings me happiness. There are some people who love to go to the mall, love to go shopping for expensive items. There are people who love to go to the casino or go to the bar or go to those kind of places. Me, I love living this lifestyle. Everybody finds satisfaction and purpose in something different. And my satisfaction and purpose in living is to live this way. While I do have modern things, of course, yes, I have YouTube, I have the internet, and I love the modernness of it all. For my everyday lifestyle, I like being at home, and I like doing things like this. You can watch my channel and think, okay, if times would get really bad and we wouldn't have electricity and we wouldn't be able to do all the things that we can do, this would be your journey, and this is my journey. I'm just pretending that I am living this way because I have to, because I may have to someday. So what's the harm in all of this? There is no harm, because let's say I'm doing all of this and I really wouldn't need to. Well, I'm living a life that I enjoy. I have a slower pace of living, and I'm having a lot of fun. All right, so I had another question about air conditioning and heating. Now, air conditioning, for the first 5 years on my YouTube channel, I didn't have air conditioning. In fact, we did not have air conditioning up until the last 2.5 to 3 years. I think it wasn't quite 3 years. This might be the 3rd year. And I have to have air conditioning because when you're working, making YouTube videos, and you're working with even the lighting that's off grid, it's very hot. And because of my age, I am having air conditioning. But as far as heating, we will address that when the time comes. I am going to be teaching you how you can heat your home with pennies on the dollar and doing things like that. So using tea lights, and my oil lamps do help really heat our home. So I will be addressing that when the time comes. When I did my first video, I had hundreds of questions and people wanted me to say everything right away. Well, no, this is my journey. This is a part of what I am doing. I'm not going to say everything at once because it's part of my journey. Another person said, well, this seems like I've been doing this for the last 7 years. So let me clarify something with you all. I have been doing this for the last 7 years, but in progression, in the last year, I started showing more just things in the kitchen that were electronic, and it just got busier and busier on my channel. I would touch on this subject in a video once in a while, but it wasn't a lifestyle. So there's a big difference there. So the difference is I would do it once in a while, but it wasn't a lifestyle. Now it's a lifestyle, and I can show you my lifestyle, and I can turn my camera around and show you my kitchen and show you that I don't have the modern appliances. I don't have the modern things except for a few little things like a toaster oven. And the difference is it's a lifestyle change. And that's why I wanted to show you my home, to show you that I'm at business when it comes to this, because I think the more we learn the old skills, the more knowledge we feel, and the more at ease we feel, and the less panicky we feel about uncertainty in the world around us. There is a lot of uncertainty, and no, I am not going to give a guarantee that if you follow me, that all of a sudden you'll know how to handle every drastic situation. No, this is just my life and the way I want to prep. It's a prepping channel, but it's a different kind of prepping channel. Instead of going to the grocery store and buying 20 cases of canned food, I can it myself, and showing you the rain barrels and showing you how to maintain them and all of those things. So it's my lifestyle and my life skills. Now, I am very blessed that I can implement a lot of history into my videos because I have things handed down through, well, over 100 years, 200 years, some of the things. And so like our bedroom furniture, that was a wedding gift from the 1880s. So you can see that I have a lot of rich history that's also involved with my channel. I understand through the years I've done different things on my channel, different things. I tried different things, and I know that there are some people that they will have to watch me for a long time to realize that when I have my mind made up with something, it's made up with something. It is the way it's going to be. And this is simply the best lifestyle I could ever dream of living. When I lived this lifestyle out of necessity, I would think about the past life, and I would think about all the things in the easier life I had. Once I had those things, I realized they did not bring me any more happiness, and I had more content living the other way. This is how I have always been. I've always been an old soul. My mom and dad were not old souls. They liked technology and they liked things, and they got rid of the old ways of living. But as a little girl, I would pretend that I was on Little House on the Prairie. I would pretend that I was cooking outside. I did all kinds of things that seemed very eccentric compared to the family that I was adopted into. But that's how I've always been. And by the age of 5, You have established your personality. Now, of course, you grow, and of course, you become more mature as you get older. But by the age of 5, a lot of your likes and dislikes are already established. And that's how it was with me. So this is not a new concept for me, but I'm at the point in my life where I realized that if I don't do it now, I never will. And what better way is to show you on my channel, and by the response of 99.9% of you, you would like to see this journey, and you would like to try some of the things in my life for your life. And who knows by the time this video comes up, something may be drastic that a lot of us will have to do this. So my desire is to not rely as much on the freezer. That's the next thing I'm going to be working on. And I take it slow and steady, and I do a lot of research. Not to have so much in my freezers, because if the freezers go bad or something like that, I don't have the opportunity to save my freezer food because my little power units are not strong enough for anything like that. Now, I do have a generator, and we can use a generator for a couple days for a large refrigerator. But when you have something canned or dehydrated, it's there, the food's there, and you don't have to worry about it. So just remember, my videos are a progression. It's not going to happen overnight, and you may have a lot of questions. I may have those same questions and thinking in my head, okay, now how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? I do have a battery-powered vacuum cleaner that is powered by my power units. I do want to step in here one moment and just explain that my videos will not be about solar. So my videos are not anything to do with solar. The only reason why I'm bringing up the word solar in this video is to explain to you how I'm able to have lighting and do a few things on the homestead and in my videos. But I understand that solar is something that most people could not afford, and I could not afford solar either if I didn't have a YouTube channel. So my videos are all about 19th and 20th century old-fashioned living that has absolutely nothing to do with solar. With that being said, this is a challenge. This is an excitement for me because I enjoy this kind of challenge. This to me is not drudgery. And while I may talk about hard times, I am not doing it in the same spirit that maybe some other channels will. So you must change your perception and thinking. When you hear me say hard times, it's not going to be the doomsday hard times. It's going to be the challenge and the uplifting challenge and the thinking in your head. Now, how can you change this? All right, so this is the new setup I have. There are 2 LED lights, and they're hooked to my power unit. In the past, I would use those lights above the little table over there, and those lights were bright and hot, and it's electric. This here is no electricity whatsoever because it's run by my very first power unit I ever had, and it is the oak mill. So this oak mill is at least 3 years old. It may even be older. So there you go, everyone. That is how I am working my lighting system these days. From the diary of my Grandma Fanny. Now, Grandma Fanny was my husband's grandma, and Marion was their only daughter, and that was my husband's mother. And this is in 1942 today. Daddy and Marion, Daddy would have been her husband. She called him Daddy. Daddy and Marion filled the silo at Uncle Michael's. Today we had a service at the church in the afternoon. Grandma, Grove, and Lizzie were here for supper. And I cannot wait to read more of her diary. It's in bad shape, but we are still going to keep reading it. And that was what Grandma Fanny did today, all those years ago. Take care, everyone. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask them, and I will be more than happy to address them at the time needed. Keep your questions in a very respectful manner, and I'll be more than happy to answer you. Bye, everybody.